Hey there, everybody. I am Debbie Crowley from ExpressivelyDeb.com, and welcome. So today, I have a very quick and easy Easter basket that I filled with some candy, as you can see. But there are lots of purposes for this little basket. It's really quick and easy to make. And we'll go ahead and get started. So before I start with putting together this little Easter basket, I just wanted to give a shout out to her name, I believe, is Septeria 18. And I saw a picture of her version of this basket on Etsy. And I saw that she had a YouTube channel, and I went over to the YouTube channel and saw how quick and easy the basket was. So what she did on her basket was she created baskets using patterned paper. So originally, I was following her lead, and I made my baskets out of patterned paper, which truly is fast. You know, a couple of score lines, a couple of folds, a little glue, and you've got your basket. I didn't think the pattern paper had enough substance to do what I wanted it to do. She used her little baskets in a shelf, and they were side by side like this. And she had ephemera, like a heart. She had die-cut hearts in there in one, and other ephemera pieces in the others. And she had them all laid out on a line in her craft space, which is another good idea, by the way. And I wanted to use mine to actually fill with candy. So what I did was I made this out of cardstock, and I do have my the sample version here. So this is a piece of 6x6 piece of lemon lolly cardstock, and this is the base for the basket. So we'll go ahead and get started on that. So all you have to do is score the on one side of the 6x6 square, score at 2 inches. Let me just get my scoring blade up here. Okay, 2 inches and 4 inches. And then what you're going to do is just rotate it once and go back and go back to your 2-inch mark and score at 2 inches again. And over to the 4 inches. Okay, so what we're doing is we're scoring 6x6 piece of cardstock, your color choice, or pattern paper if you want to go with only the pattern paper. And you score at 2 inches and 4 inches, rotate once, score at 2 inches and 4 inches again. So what you have are 9 2-inch squares on this 6x6 sheet. So now the scoring is done. It looks like I wrote it in my blog post, it looks like a tic-tac-toe board. Okay, so now what we're going to do is on one side, whichever side you choose is going to be the top, because this is a square. We're going to put our paper back into the track, and this time we're going to use the blade, and we're going to take the blade. Let me see I hope you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. Okay. So I did it backwards. Let me do it this way so it'll be easier for you. So if we go back to the 2 inches, put the blade down, and this time we're going to use the cutting blade. And I don't know if you know this about the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, but on either side of both the scoring blade, which is the lighter blade, and the cutting blade, which is the darker blade, there are little marks. There's little tick marks here on either side of the blade. And then we have a vertical ruler here. So that's what I'm using to gauge my measurement here, because I don't want to cut it with scissors, although you can, but I thought it would be easier to cut this, because this is an easy pattern, with the paper trimmer blade. So what I'm going to do is take my blade and just bring it down. I'm looking at it from an angle here, so I hope I get a good cut. Okay, bring it down to the 2 inches so that this little tick mark on the side of the cutting blade is at the 2-inch mark on the vertical ruler. Lift the blade and now bring it down to 4 inches. And I think that's just about right. Press down and then cut it again. So we're going to do the same thing at the 4-inch score mark over here. So we cut it at 2 inches. Now we're going to slide the paper over and cut it again at 4 inches. So we're going to go to the top with the cutting blade, bring it down to the 2-inch mark on the vertical ruler, which is right about here. I think that's good. Lift it, go down to the 4-inch mark. Make sure the tick mark is at the 4-inch mark. Press the blade down and just cut. So that is what the piece is going to look like, okay? So you're going to have a 6x6 piece of cardstock scored at 2 inches, 4 inches, rotate once, score at 2, 4, put it back in the paper trimmer, cut at 2 inches up to the 4-inch score line, 2-inch score line, lift the blade, go to the 4-inch score line, and cut to the end. Now, move the paper over to your 4-inch, and then 4 inches, and then you're going to cut up to the 2-inch score line, lift your blade, bring it to the 4-inch score line, drop the blade, and cut to the end. Very quick and very easy. So I'm going to go ahead and score this piece. Just fold on all the score lines. And there we go. And then I'm going to burnish. This one I have to just burnish. We're not going to use this piece anyway, but okay. So I'm just going to quickly fold on the score lines. Okay, you get the idea. Fold all your score lines and burnish. Now, because it's kind of, you know, when I first made the lemon lolly sample, I thought, well, it's a little plain. Since each one of these squares on the base of the basket is a 2-inch square, right? Each one is a 2-inch square. So what I did was I cut 1 7/8 of an inch square of pattern paper, and I just went ahead and glued the pattern paper squares onto the cardstock basket. Now, what will be the basket? I rounded the corners. I rounded each of these corners with my 1/4 round punch on this side of the basket base and on this side. So this one round corner, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounded corners on this side and 6 on this side. So I went ahead and rounded the top corners of the pattern paper on the pattern paper squares that I had cut. Now what you'll need is a pattern paper square for each of the squares, except for the middle. There's no pattern paper in the middle because the middle square is actually the bottom of your basket. And in the interest of time, I went ahead and finished it all. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. If you're going to put the pattern paper onto the basket base, you need 16 1 7/8 of an inch square of pattern paper, 16 of them. And I did it on both sides, okay? And rounded the corners on the one side, each corner, okay? And I did the same thing on the pattern paper, only on the one side, okay? And I did that on this side as well. So you can take a look at this, and that is the template for the basket. Now, believe it or not, we're almost finished. I think the prep work cutting the squares is probably what's going to take the most time in this. So what we're going to do, I'm using glue and the liquid glue. So we're going to put some glue here. If you see, I have a generous dot there and a generous dot there. We're going to start here. Now we're going to lift the basket, push this flap in, okay? And we're going to take this and we're going to just adhere it right there, okay, kind of on an angle. And then we're going to take this one, we'll bring this down, and this one, and adhere it there. And we're just going to hold this a little bit because I want to make sure that that glue is sticking. So we have a little triangle here at the bottom and a little triangle up here in the top. So only putting glue on the corners of both of these flaps, okay? And I think that's good. Now we're just going to turn the basket and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to, we're going to, I just want to pinch this a little bit. This Lemon Lolly cardstock is very, very nice. It's very thick. Okay, so, and the basket has a lot of substance. But I'm not sure I burnished these. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to put glue, push this in, right, this center flap, put glue here, and here. Same thing we did. Now we're just going to fold this up here and this up here until they meet. And you can kind of eyeball it. You'll see where your basket is straight. You'll know. Hold it a little bit. And that's it. The basket is done. So nice and easy. So I went ahead and I die cut. I used the Excellent Eggs dies that are in the January to April mini catalog. And I just die cut 2 egg dies, and with dimensionals, I put them on the front of the basket. I think this is so cute. And I did like the idea of Septia. I think her name is Sandy, but Septia is her YouTube channel. And so I put this on with dimensionals, and I'm just going to maybe attach this. I'll put a dimensional on the back. Oh, so I used the inlay technique on this particular die, and because it wasn't down on a piece of cardstock, I put a little white layer behind it so that I had something to attach these pieces when I inlaid them into the this little egg. So you can see that's how I did that. And of course, you can decorate your basket any way you choose. And I'm sure it would be lovely. And it doesn't have to necessarily be for Easter. You could use this little template for just about any occasion, because it really is pretty. Okay, so I did that. I put the eggs on, if you can see, with dimensionals. And then I went ahead and die cut the sentiment. This sentiment is from the Bright Skies bundle. And I'm just going to attach that to the front. And I fussy cut this. And it says, sprinkled with love. And then I did have a little flower. Here we go. I die cut a flower from Lost Lagoon cardstock. And I just attached the flower to this egg just to decorate the front a little bit more. And that's how it looks, if you can see it, if I'm showing it the right way for you. And now we need a little handle. So this is a 6-inch strip of lemon lolly cardstock, 6 inches by 1.5 inch by 6 inches, and then I glued a patterned paper strip, which is 3/8 of an inch by 6 inches. I just glued them together, and now we're going to go ahead and put the handle on the basket. So putting glue on one side, on the top of the one side, and I'm just going to stick it in underneath. If you can see what I'm doing here, I'm going underneath this flap and just centering, and I'm going to hold it a little bit because we want the inside of the basket to look nice too. We don't want a tab out there. So I'm just tucking it in behind this little flap and pressing it. I want the glue to stick, to get nice and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to put the glue on the end, and I put a generous amount, and now we're going to stick this, and that came out. We're going to stick this behind. I didn't hold it long enough, but I'll get to it. So we're going to hold it, stick this behind this flap, hold it, and then stick this one behind the flap and hold it. And just hold it just for a minute, couple of seconds, maybe 10 seconds or so till the glue dries. And it's finished. So this is a little Easter basket. I decided I wanted to make this an Easter candy basket. This was actually a project I did for the Pals Blog Hop, which was this past Wednesday. And the theme was, it's all about the kids. So I just remember when I was a kid and I just couldn't wait to get my Easter candy. And I used to do it with my own children. Now I did pick up some grass for the inside of this is paper grass. And they actually had this in Hobby Lobby. So this is paper grass. And you could put the little bit of grass in there. And then I picked up some candy. And there we go. And the basket has a nice substance to it. It's nice and thick. So this was my original, as you can see. And then this one today. So quick and easy. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And as always, remember to express your creativity, and the only limitation is your imagination. Thanks for stopping by.